We are recording, so uh, just so that whenever I want to edit the actual audio portion, I'll have
Yeah.
as much as we need. So,
Nice. Okay.
all right, man. I'm gonna go ahead and start the stream. I'm gonna mute us on OBS.
Okay.
Um, so we're gonna come in for about like a minute or two, and it'll just be the whatever the logo, and then I'll come in and um, you'll I'll basically just be waiting for the end of the song. It's a pretty long song, so once it ends, we'll just we'll roll right into it. You're good. You don't even worry about it. I'm telling myself this as much as I'm telling you. So
Yeah. No problem. It's good to go over it. Yeah. Yeah. We'll have fun.
yeah. Oh, I gotta. Oh shit. I gotta create like the stream title and stuff.
Just put two dads talk about music and junk.
Two dads and a bunch of Satan music. Title. Tags. Let's go. I always do like hardcore, metalcore. Almost ready. Sorry.
No problem.
Okay, I think that's. Why do I not have the option to stream? A title for your screen? I have a title. Hang on. My bad.
Nope. No problem. So I won't have to worry about putting my mic on mute unless I have to cough or something, but you're going to do it all. You're going to control both of us through OBS.
Yeah, I will turn our voice off. Well, yeah, I'd say mute your mic, your actual mic.
Okay.
Oh, crap. Hang on. Sorry, man. OBS is being weird.
No problem.
Stop streaming. I think I need to create a new stream here real quick. Yeah, if once the music starts, just mute your microphone, and then once it comes back, just unmute yourself. I'm gonna unmute. I'll mute myself in OBS. So.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good, man. You're good. You can. I mean, you can sneeze or whatever if you need to. It's not a big deal. It's not like we're fucking Letterman or anything. As if they never sneezed on Letterman. Why is it not? not let me go live?
It's so weird.
Streaming. Did I start stream in OBS? Nope. Yes. There we go. I don't want to schedule it. I want it to go on now. Okay, there we go. All right, man, we're ready. We're ready to roll.
Nice.
It's going to be a big-ass recording. All right, here we go. You ready?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to let it roll for a little bit. I'm going to mute us in OBS first. Hang on.
I'm going to mute me too.
What's going on, you guys? My name is Josh Green, and you are listening to Dadcore. Welcome back to the show. We're going to kick some stuff off tonight with a little bit of music. This band is called Dying Giant from Indiana. This song is called Bat in the Sun.
Fire
All right, that was Dying Giant with Bat in the Sun. Big thanks to those guys for letting us play their music. It's our pleasure to put it out there. I'm here with a very special friend of mine today, and I'm proud to announce he's agreed to come on as a full-time co-host with me. My good friend Adam. How you doing, Adam?
I'm doing amazing. Just really glad to be here with you, Josh. That band is freaking phenomenal. Indiana?
Yes, I believe Indiana. I have their hometown written down somewhere, and I totally didn't bring it in here, but they are totally rad dudes. Yeah, Dying Giant, just really super fucking metal and super brutal, and I really enjoyed that track. I like that it's super long, actually. It
I
almost
do too. I do too. Honestly, I really like those, just those roller coaster rides. You know what I mean? Like going into something super super heavy, and then giving you a minute to think about what just happened. Like a bomb just went off. And then you get to witness it and take it in.
yeah, it almost feels like a callback to I don't know. I came up on Metallica and stuff, and some Metallica songs are just super long, but I appreciate a good song or like a movie, like a good long movie, movie that kind of takes you on a journey, and you end up in a place where you didn't start off. That's a good feeling. So Dying Giant doing that very well, and thanks you guys. They are on Instagram and Facebook. I don't have their exact links here, but we'll link off to that in the description for the show once we get that out there. So I wanted to kind of take an opportunity and talk a little bit about kind of Dadcore is basically coming out of a fairly long hiatus. I think the last episode I put out was in July of 2017. So it's been over 6 months since I published anything or even recorded an episode or even opened up the software to record anything. I recorded my last episode and I stepped away from it. My job got super crazy this year. Between the last episode and now, I've been out of town 3 or 4 different times, and some of those were other countries, and they were for long periods of time. So it made it difficult to sit down and schedule interviews and have time. And in between all that, we had the holidays and stuff. And from being gone so much, I wanted to spend a lot of time with my family rather than being hunched over my computer, uh, doing interviews for my little side hustle that I do. But I'm glad to be back. The plan, hopefully, as you can see, we've changed the format a little bit. We are going to start doing some live streams. I don't think we're going to live stream everything. But another thing I want to do is to include a lot more music. The show is called Dadcore, so which is basically just a callback to kind of our old, we're all dads and we all have jobs and, we're all lame now and we have our pocket protectors and fanny packs, but we
Working our 9 to 5s.
working our 9 to 5s, baby. But you know what? Deep down inside, I still love this stuff. That's my jam, and this is just a fun way to share it in a way that I get to. For me, I like it because I get to explore a lot of really great bands, and I'm super excited to show you guys some of the bands that we have for this episode. I've just been showered with a lot of great blessings of just brutal and amazing bands. But yeah, anyway, so Dadcore's back. Hopefully, it's gonna stay back. We're just gonna kind of cut episodes as we can. I still, may have to go out of town here and there. But the excitement and the appreciation that everyone has shown for our return has been tremendous. So thank you for that. And
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
absolutely, and we want to respond to that by continuing to promote bands and have important discussions and give you guys great content. So again, Adam, welcome to the show. Welcome to Dadcore, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Dude, it's my pleasure, and you're doing me an honor by doing the show. I kind of want to talk about you a little bit, man. Just get everyone kind of acquainted with you. From my foxhole, Adam and I have been friends for almost 15 years now. I met Adam actually. I met up with some friends of mine who were skating. I remember the day. And they were just kind of skateboarding and kind of pounding around town. And he was there. I think you were skating, or maybe you were just hanging out.
No,
Um,
I was definitely skating. Yeah, I was skating with a few other guys, and like everybody, just for the record, everybody knew who Josh Green was. He had the hair of a magnificent like stallion, you
had
know, just
had being the
curly,
had being the operative word.
super curly locks. I mean, they were beautiful. Um, I think there was a couple other like awkward times, like me and you passed, like you know, in passing at like you know shows and things, and I think we were wearing like the same windbreaker one time, and then you just looked at me, you're like, "Hey, nice." And then yeah, then like the first time I ever met you was that little skate session that we were having, and um, you know, the rest is history. I can't even remember how many bands that we've played in over the years, little projects that we've done together, but
It's been a lot,
they were
man.
all really fun.
There's been a
Yeah, there's
lot. We have a deep and storied history together, and it's been a good road, man, and especially now, you know, it's weird because Adam and I both kind of left our hometown in Texas. Gosh, it's been like 10 years now, I think.
yeah. Me and my well, my wife now left in 2000, January of 2009,
Oh wow.
and have been out here in Arizona ever since. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy to think about. That time goes by so quickly, and there's just it's
I mean, it especially does like whenever you're, you know, you're trying to, you know, for people who have moved to, you know, away from where they come from into like a bigger city or even, you know, wherever you want to go, you know, those people know what I'm talking about, and you do too, Josh. And that, you know, it's super difficult to establish yourself like all over again from square one, right? Like, you know, you're figuring. I mean, even just the basic things of like where do you go to get gas, where do you go to get groceries. I mean, your sense of direction is totally off. Like, where the heck do I go, you know, to do anything?
well, in
And
your circle of I want to say circle of influence, but really like your circle of trust or your circle of care shrinks down to whoever you're traveling with. You know, your spouse or your significant other. So it's good. It's great for relationships. I will say this. I
absolutely.
I have moved around quite a bit since I left town, and I will say every time we go to a new place, as me and my wife, it just strengthens us a lot in that way because we have to lean on each other rather than, you know, like we've been living in Washington State for 2 years now, and it's been awesome because we have a great circle of friends that we kind of just fell into without even meaning to. But yeah, I agree, man. That shock of just like feeling like you're on another planet
Oh
is
yeah, it's incredible. Like, you know, learning how people like talk and walk and all that stuff. And you know, me and you know my wife, we did it. We took a chance on each other and came out here. Wanted to start, you know, do something different, you know, and wanted more opportunity for, you know, our future children. You know, which we just had our first child in September of last
yay,
year.
and he's beautiful.
He's a gorgeous little boy. So yeah, it was a I look back at it and I was like, that was the hardest change that we'll probably ever have to do. You know, aside from having him, of course, you know,
Yeah,
but yeah, moving into a different place. I mean, it's exciting, it's thrilling, it's stressful, it's maddening sometimes. But you know, whenever you do it with somebody that you love, and is your best friend, it makes a difference. It really does. I couldn't imagine doing this kind of transition, you know, by myself. You know, and there's people that do it, and kudos to them um, for being that strong and being able to do that. Because I don't know. For me, I got a feeling I probably would have, you know, said forget it, I'll move back. You know, but
that always seemed like a terrifying concept to me, and I know people do it all the time, especially you know for a job or I think what would be terrifying to me honestly is moving somewhere and not having the guarantee of a job But even aside from that, going alone is that would be a scary thing, man. I guess I'm spoiled in that way. You know, when I left town, my wife came with me, and that's how it's always been. So I don't really know any better, but yeah, I can't imagine, especially going to somewhere as dog eat dog as like L.A. or New York, like or Chicago, like that. Yeah,
It's a little bit rougher, you know,
yeah,
and what kind of sucks is like, you know, you could get yourself in trouble just, you know, because you're not familiar with the areas, and then you know, oh, I'm going to move into this place, it's cheap rent, and
yeah,
you know, and then yeah, you don't have any stuff in your apartment a week later, you
yeah.
know.
Add to the fact that me and Adam's hometown is Amarillo, Texas, which is, I mean, it is the farthest you can get in America from New York City or LA or anything like that. It is night and day difference from those environments. So, um,
Definitely is.
how do you like Arizona? Like I came to visit you guys a couple years back, and you guys seemed very acclimated, not just weather wise, I guess, but like you guys seemed like comfortable Arizonians. Do you enjoy it there? Is it home now for you or?
Oh yeah, like I mean, once you live somewhere for, you know, almost 10 years, I think we're on our what, 8th year, 2009. So, or ninth year, dang. But yeah, you know, I really enjoy it. I really like living out here. And you know, one thing that's really funny is, you know, coming from living in Texas, everything in Texas is so freaking far away. You know, like, you know, just to get to the state capital takes you literally half a day's drive from where we're from. I mean, like what, like it's like a 12-hour drive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um, you know, and then you try to go to Houston. I mean, it's even that much further. So
Hmm.
it's actually pretty cool. Like for me, like being able to be in a smaller state and, you know, make day trips, you know, to different places. There's a lot of history here in Arizona, a lot of old, you know, old mining towns, ghost
Yeah,
towns,
yeah,
things
you.
like that.
Oh, that was one thing we didn't get around to doing when I was there. But you guys were telling me about like the that haunted ass. What was it? It was like a hospital or a mental institution or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a place in Jerome, Arizona, and it's called the Jerome Grand Hotel.
Yeah.
And this place is amazing. If any of y'all listening are out and about in Arizona and you're out, want to go off the beaten path, and Jerome is the place to go. Uh, the hotel sits at the very top of the hill, you know, looking down at the entire town. The entire town's on a slope, you know, so all the actual houses and things are on stilts. A lot of them are, you know, original to the town. But the hotel is so creepy. It used to be, it's an old, like, I think it was like copper. They mined copper there. And, you know, unfortunately, there was a big explosion or a collapse, an explosion that caused the collapse of the mine. So then, you know,
Double
it was
catastrophe.
right. So it ended up becoming a ghost town shortly after that. But it did have, while it was a mining town, the most sophisticated hospital, I believe, in the United States. It had one of the first elevators in there. But with all that aside, I mean, it's an old building, it's an old hospital that you get to sleep in. I mean, it doesn't get any more metal than that. And um, you know, if any of y'all ever stay there, they do have a book out in the lobby, and I suggest not touching or reading that book until after you leave, because you know, it was pretty crazy. Like my wife, I ended up falling asleep, but my wife was, you know, she didn't sleep all night because she was telling, you know, the next morning she's telling me about all the stuff that she was hearing, you know, knocking on the walls and things, you know, on our behind our headboard. Some pretty freaky stuff that really kind of freaked her out a little bit. But then the thing that was kind of creepy was that we went and read that book of people's experiences down in the lobby, and it for me, like what she was describing, there was somebody that wrote an excerpt in that book from like the 40s that stayed in that same room that experienced the exact same noises. So that was kind of strange. Like my wife telling me that she's hearing this and that and the other, and then I see a someone from the 40s heard almost the exact same things as she did. So crazy place.
What time is checkout?
Yeah, right. It couldn't come soon enough,
Yeah.
according to Steph. So, but we did that on her birthday. She wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So,
Happy birthday.
yeah,
You're gonna.
yeah, haunted hotel, like, and I think they told us that our room was where they had like terminally ill patients.
Oh
So the
wow.
patients that they knew that were,
That's
you
the
know,
equivalent of like the premium suite there, I guess. Like
right, yeah, exactly,
you're gonna be
exactly.
extra scared out of your mind in this room.
It was pretty incredible. But yeah, it's a cool town. A lot of wine, little vineyards around that town. But and there's a lot of that in Arizona. Like just all these little places that have their own stories of history, and whenever you get down to it, because this show is kind of dedicated to talking about metal of the sorts. I mean, some of the most metal towns that you could think of.
We should do that. We'll do a top 10 most metal towns in America.
That might go somewhere. I think we
Yeah,
could pull that
we
off.
could.
Yeah.
I need to do some more traveling because I've been to some pretty not metal places. But
Oh yeah, dude.
that's
Yeah.
that's an idea. I'm putting a pin in that one, Adam.
Nice. Good.
Um, so I'd like to go ahead. We'll go ahead and move on to our next band. These guys are awesome, and I think you're really gonna like these guys, Adam, if you haven't listened to them yet.
I have you. You actually sent this to me a couple weeks ago, and
I remember.
I've had this album on repeat ever since. I can't get enough of it.
Yeah, oof. This is something I play this at the gym. I play it in my car when I'm on my way to work just to get hyped. The band I'm talking about, they are from Sweden, which is really cool. They actually reached out to me, which was double cool because I'm a nobody. But Snake Tongue is they're from Sweden. Um, the record you're about to hear, the cool thing about this, so when I heard it, I immediately got really positive, not in a rip-off way, Converge vibes. And so I mentioned that to the guy. I was like, dude, this is really good. And it has a very awesome, like unique, but like Converge kind of sound, just that kind of dark, hardcore, very fast and brutal and aggressive. And he was like, oh, well, Kurt Ballou from Converge actually produced this record. I was like, wow. And here you are talking to me about being on our show here. So
Needless to say, we're honored.
yeah, we are on. Like they kept being like, "Oh, you're doing us a favor." Like, no, 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 no. You are doing me a favor just by like letting us do this. So, I've been super hyped on this band since I heard them. This is definitely not the last time you're gonna hear them on this show. But the band is called Snake Tongue, and the song is called Raptor's Breath.
Gonna be huge.
Raise your
Jumped the gun on that one. All right, so that was Snake Tongue with Raptor's Breath. Like I said, I've been on that fairly like at least daily since
Yeah.
those guys reached out to me. Dude,
I
that
listen to that entire album at least once a day and have for the past couple weeks.
oh yeah, it slaps, man. And that that part to me, that just that gets stuck in my head, homie.
So heavy.
Yeah, digging Snake Tongue. They're on Bandcamp, Instagram, Facebook. They have some really cool merch available as well. So definitely go out, look for that stuff, seek it out, and support those guys. From Sweden, man, I was so psyched on that. I was like, who am I? Like, I guess that's the that's the awesomeness of social media. But genuine pleasure to have them on the show. And like I said, not going to be the last time you're hearing them on the show.
Absolutely.
They kind of gave me the inside scoop that they're I think they're fixing to put some new material out there also. So eager to hear that from Snake Tongue.
Nice.
So have you been watching the Olympics or anything, man?
We're cord cutters. I guess would be the term for us. So no, unfortunately not. We don't have. Well, let me put it this way: I'm not going to pay like $40 a month, for a streaming service to watch it on. Especially, to be honest, the commentary, is horrible most of the time. It's just always a train wreck every time I watch. But there are. I remember like summer games. When was the summer games in England? I don't remember
That was 2 years
when
ago.
that was.
That was
Yeah.
That was the last
one, right?
Yeah.
So their website was, I think they did it all. I think BBC had it all. So like they had it set up to where you could go on their website, you can watch it all for free. And there was what was crazy is that it was just watching the sport itself. There was no commentary at all. They kind of like peppered in commentary only for their British athletes, but then once the British athlete was done and it was somebody else, that it just cuts off again.
They're just like, let's go get a sandwich.
Right. Do they eat sandwiches in England?
A biscuit. Let's go get a biscuit.
Biscuit.
So,
but yeah,
if you're British and you're listening to this, I'm very sorry.
Hey, we love you, we love the Queen.
God save the Queen.
Got to be welcome in England,
That was. I like that though. Like I have found. My wife actually. It's not sports related, but we did the same thing with. I think it was the Macy's Day Parade. So a big tradition for her growing up was watching the Macy's Day Parade on Thanksgiving morning. And,
okay.
And we're the same. I guess we're cord cutters too. We don't do cable because why? Like,
Yeah. Why?
But if you find the right link online anywhere, you can actually, like, we found a broadcast that was commentary free. So it was, it was still on TV, but it was nice to watch it without the, I guess, like the Joan Rivers equivalent, like, like, look at the floats are beautiful, we just, kind of got to enjoy it that way. It was nice background noise for a Thanksgiving morning, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and like, let the viewer make their own commentary. We know what we're looking at. We know what we're seeing. Like, we don't need, it's kind of like football commentary. Mm-hmm. It's so useless. You just have a bunch of guys sitting at a table and all they do is one guy will say something and then all three other guys what that guy said just by saying it in a different way. Like, oh, well, he ran down for the Hail Mary and then he, threw the ball and the guy, didn't catch it. He didn't make proper, and then the other guy will be like, yeah, he just didn't do it very well, and then the third guy's like, yeah, I agree. I'm going to say it in a different way. And I'm just like, shut up. Like, it's so annoying.
Did you ever I'm like you. I'm not a huge sports guy anyway, but I do I do get down on like maybe some Madden here and there, but I will say the most frustrating thing when you're playing like a sports game has to be the commentator, because I'm not a coach nor am I a player, so I am probably making like 9 out of every 10 decisions I make playing Madden is going to be the incorrect one. Like, and they just like it was like Madden 2010, and Chris Collinsworth, who already has a voice that kind of sets my teeth on edge, like you would run a play and of course get obliterated by the CPU or like the other player or whatever. He'd be like, "Oh, I don't really know what I was thinking on that play." Like, shut up, you. You knew that was wrong before I even picked it. Like, I don't want to hear what you have to say. Shut up, Chris Collinsworth.
Right.
Yeah.
No kidding. But like, in terms of the Olympics, I am bummed out because that is the one thing that I do. I really enjoy watching. And I don't know why. I think it's just, like, you and your wife's, families did the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. The Olympics were always big in our house, so uh, summer, winter, more summer, it was more track and field, like in my family, that everyone was really kind of fixated on.
Yeah. I was pretty old before I actually even like realized like, oh, the Winter Olympics is different. Like, they don't do it at the same time. I didn't like I was like old enough to buy a pack of cigarettes when I figured that out. I guess that's how out of touch with sports and stuff I am, but I was still, I mean the Winter Olympics are cool, and the cool thing about Olympics, I think, even like cuz I'm not a sports guy, so I just like football, basketball, like I can kind of jive a little bit and
Oh yeah,
keep
totally.
keep up a conversation with it, but I don't really set out to just watch it. I don't. I'm just not that interested in it. And I think I pretended to be for a lot of my life until a point where I was like, why? Like, no, I don't hate it, but I'd rather be doing 1,000 other things right now than sitting here watching this game or talking about this player. Like, but the Olympics are different because I think so you have the exclusivity of they only happen every so often, and also like I feel like the window for something cool to happen is more narrow. So when you have like a like I guess the big one right now is like the Shaun White redemption story, like that
Right.
is cool. Or like the women's hockey team beating out I think it was Canada. I think they beat
Yeah, it was
Canada,
Canada.
and
Yeah.
it was hype, dude. Like, people came to work the next day and they were like, "Bro, women's hockey! Like, you didn't give a crap about women's hockey a month ago, but now you do because it's in the Olympics." And that's kind of like, that is cool, like, or like curling. Like, who cares about curling? We all do when it's Winter Olympics time. Apparently, like, it's
Oh yeah.
it's
It,
it's weird, but it's cool. Like, I guess it's a cool exposure to some other stuff that's not football, basketball, baseball.
exactly. Like like you said, curl. Like, who gives a damn about curling? Whereas in Canada, that's like a big deal. You know what I mean? And being able to see, what other people are. For me, like, that's part of the fascination. Being able to see like what people, are really into. In terms of sports, in different parts of the world. Like, what I think, like Norway, they're really big into like cross country skiing. Um, and I think we actually had like our first ever gold medal for cross country skiing, if I remember correctly. The U.S. has never been good at cross country skiing, but I think um, I forgot her name. I think
Cro-
she won gold.
help me out. Cross country skiing is where they're actually like, are they like racing downhill, or I'm not an athlete. I don't know what, like, how does that work?
It's literally like, what cross country running is.
Yeah, you just run for a long time.
Yeah, only it's on skis.
It
So
sounds like
like you have to like trek yourself like across like flat ground. There might be some areas that might have a slope that you can, ride on, but the key is just like it's a pretty long endurance test.
ugh, it sounds
Yeah,
rough.
and it looks brutal. Like,
Yeah,
it looks really brutal.
yeah. I bet,
But then they have a cool sport called biathlon,
yeah,
where it's cross country skiing mixed with target shooting. Now that's pretty crazy.
that is pretty nutso, man. I'm not gonna lie. I like, there's so many stuff like it's like curling and like like the shooting and the crazy stuff that's like I don't know. Like I said, I was grown before I even realized like, oh, there's another Olympics and it's just cold stuff. But it is pretty cool, I guess. So
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Like, it's something for everybody to look forward to, and you know, and one thing that I really like about it is like you could talk to, it becomes like a topic like the weather for, with encounters with everyday people,
yeah,
like,
yeah, that is true.
Joe,
Like
Joe watched that last night. It seems like everybody, sees the highlights of, what's going on in the Olympics. At least it seems like everybody kind of pays attention in one shape or form,
I worked with Joe Smithers for 2 years before I knew that we were both huge curling fans.
It's the only sport where you can take a smoke break,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's well, I don't know. Everyone dogs on curling. Like, I have to believe that the actuality of curling is, like, I don't know. It's probably one of the most difficult sports that you can participate in. But I get hyped.
It could be.
I get down on some Olympics. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a huge athlete per se, but I get into it. I get into it, I guess. Well, let's get some more music going, man.
Nice. Let's hit it.
Yeah, this next band, we're gonna shift gears a little bit as far as sound, as far as genre. This is a band that some of you, if you've been listening to the show for I guess the first kind of phase of the show, this is really the first band to ever reach out to me and say like, hey, like we would be interested in supporting you if you would support us, and I was like, of course. They are called the Foul English. They are a punk rock band from Calgary. They are apparently like 3 out of 4 of them are all dads. And they were like, oh, cool, you do a music show and you're your dads. So, like, that's awesome. They actually have a song called Dadcore, which is actually a really good song. But they have a really good sound. The record's really well produced. The dudes are super nice. They're working on new material, and I was gonna play it today, but I totally spaced and I didn't have it ready. So I'm gonna play a song that I like from their current album, which I think is just pretty much called The Foul English. It's self-titled, and it's really good. I hope you guys enjoy it. This is The Foul English with Switchblade Tattoo. All right, that was The Foul English. That song's called Switchblade Tattoo. They're on Bandcamp, Instagram, Facebook as well. A lot of cool merch from that band. Actually, they have some vinyls available, and they're like hot pink, kind of
Nice.
kind of like their logo was there. But they are awesome. Like, I think if I had something like they have for sale on their page, I wouldn't even play it because they're so cool looking. They have another vinyl that's like it's like clear. It's clear, and then it has their logo in the middle. It's pretty.
If you're in a punk band, you have to have awesome vinyl.
You gotta, yeah. Oh, dude. That seems like just it has to be like almost your chief medium if that's your genre. They have, and those guys, the Foul English, they have such just like a seasoned kind of like, I don't know, just 80s early 90s sound. Like it's ripe for vinyl. It's ripe
Absolutely, yeah.
for some spins, man. So thank you again to the Foul English, and I hopefully look forward to playing new stuff next time you guys are on the show.
Can't wait to hear it.
Definitely. So going back to we were talking about stuff that we watch. So again, going back, I visited Adam and his wife a year or two ago, and we had a really good time. It was the first time Adam and I had seen each other in 8 years, but we carried on like we hadn't missed a day, and it was great. But
Yeah.
one thing that you guys do that I actually thought was interesting and also very cool that I've kind of carried forward since that trip is in lieu of watching like you guys do watch some shows and you kind of you binge watch this and that or whatever, but you guys watch a lot of streams.
We do, yes.
Talk about that because I like. I mean, like a lot of people know, like, yes, it's Twitch. It's people watch people playing video games, like, and I've done it. Like before then, I had done it. I had like, oh, this is someone playing a game that I enjoy, but it was very just kind of touch and go. It is very much like a go-to thing in your household, no?
I mean, it definitely can be, yeah. With having the little boy around, and I'm sure some of you listening now can sympathize, especially if you like to play video games in your spare time. Is there's no time, So what do you do? And we've gotten to where we really like watching people play video games. Go through and actually, whatever it might be, like if it's like a story-driven game or someone's just sitting there playing multiplayer, like, me and my wife, we're really big Overwatch people. Big shout out to Overwatch. But in watching those streams, like we love watching the tournaments that are in place now for like esports, et cetera, et cetera. But it's incredible. Like whenever I first stumbled upon, like Twitch, for example, which in my opinion is the better medium for that kind of stuff. No offense, YouTube, but it can be very, very trashy in the YouTube department, like in terms of streams. But it's quite a bit better on Twitch. But like seeing people, do this for a living just astounds me. Like, you're sitting there watching, and then somebody is enjoying themselves so much that they want to give this person money, and and it might be like, a few cents. I've seen some people get thousands of dollars in one tip for some reason. It's a crazy phenomenon. I've always loved people watching. And for me, it's a type of people watching, but also like just seeing that behavior is just like, what? That's so crazy. For me and my wife, we just love watching, watching the video games, especially for, some of these, like we watched, what was it? Resident Evil Biohazard, the newest Resident Evil. I don't have time to play that right now, but I got to see someone else play it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it too. So
I did one of my actually recent favorites because I'm gonna out myself as an Xbox user. I have an Xbox One, which is I feel like has its merits, but you miss out on a lot of really great PlayStation exclusives. Speaking video game wise. But I did get to watch a stream of Nier Automata recently, which I really enjoyed because that's a game that I wanted to play really bad, and obviously haven't. Even if I had it, I haven't had the time because I've been out of town so much. But yeah, it is useful in that way. There is something lost, I will say, in watching versus playing a game. Um,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
but I think that is slightly supplemented in having a good stream host, I guess streamer. Um, so if the stream hoster is interesting and has a personality and can make good jokes, it almost kind of reckons back, like back when streaming or even playing online wasn't a thing, and you would just kind of chill in your bedroom with your bro and play through, like Metal Gear Solid or whatever, and you'd stay up all
Yep.
night doing a Metal Gear Solid grind, which you can do in like 6 to 8 hours, and you're just like locked in, whether you're locked in or you're laughing or you're having a good time, like it does kind of harken back to that a little bit. It's not quite the same. I would obviously much rather be hanging out with a bro playing a game, on the same couch, but it triggers some of the same chemical releases, I guess, watching streams and stuff. So
It definitely does. Like I still get a joy out of seeing, someone play a game or, whatever it might be. There's, other people do, other things on Twitch besides playing video games. Like, you have some people that are, recording music, doing producing, um, giving tutorials on how to produce. It's a really cool medium. It's really cool. I yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have anything else to add on it, but it is, it's interesting to say the least. Well, and also like whenever somebody, it's so much easier, like especially if you're busy with your kid, taking care of him or her, and then you just want something on the TV as background noise.
yeah,
Because a lot of these guys, they play for like 8 to 10 hours a day, so like you don't have to pay attention to it too much at all, like
yeah,
unless you want to.
yeah.
But it's just a little bit easier accessible if you just want to, you know, put something on and get work done around the house. Fold laundry
Well,
or whatever you want to do.
you definitely like. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I've even gone just like, I go to the little hourglass or the, excuse me. Oh, don't drink beer in podcast. It just makes you burp a lot. Um, Sometimes I'll just even search for the game I want to watch, and I'll just whoever's on top. Like if I want to watch, I love to watch PUBG streams. I love to watch a good PUBG stream. It because that game is just, it doesn't matter if you're awesome at it or you suck at it. It's fun to watch. If you're good, it's fun to watch people be good. If you suck, it's fun to watch people suck at PUBG.
It
So
really is.
that's
Either way.
that's a game I just like to watch. Whether you're 11 kills, chicken dinner, whatever, like, or you're just you know sucking it up and you're just playing a lot of games and just getting crushed. But and then you have like your Twitch personalities. Like one, like the obvious one is Doctor Disrespect, who is hilarious, and you kind of turned me on to
He's an
him.
amazing guy, dude.
He
He's crazy.
he is, and his whole saga's been kind of weird, but also like I love a good redemption story. And if you know anything, I won't get too into his craziness, but like, I love a good redemption story, and I'm glad he's back to streaming. And some of the stuff he's done since his return to Twitch and to streaming has been hilarious. And I like, even if you don't play video games, I feel like you would laugh at it because he is so committed to the character of Doctor Disrespect, and he's so committed, and he has the wit for it. He is funny at a moment's notice, and
Yeah, he is.
highly recommend, if you're listening to this and you've slept on Doctor Disrespect, go out YouTube just some like best of Doctor Disrespect, and you'll have a laugh because this dude is hilarious. And I feel like that's, like, speaking of which, like, that has to be difficult because it's almost like stand-up comedy in that, like, we could pre-record this and be hilarious, and
Right.
no one would, you could pre-shoot a comedy movie and it could be funny because you've had time to write it and recut it and reshoot it. But streaming is like almost like stand-up comedy in that you have no idea what's going to happen when you start streaming. You have no idea what's going to happen in the game. You might suck. Uh, so that's a pretty good example of it is almost like watching stand-up comedy. Like if he's playing a game and he's just getting rocked, he's funny because he's getting rocked. If he's playing a game and he's murdering everyone, he's funny in that way too. So yeah,
Oh
definitely
yeah.
definitely a little, I guess, shameless plug for Dr. Disrespect. Like he needs it. He's making, he's making rack. He's making
I
racks.
I
Rack.
can't imagine how much he makes off of monthly subscriptions. It's unbelievable.
I don't like. He's another one. Like you were
But
talking about, some people donating like ghastly amounts of money in a single, just for a stream. Like I see that happen quite a bit on his page, and it's crazy.
oh yeah, yeah, it's
So
insane,
yeah,
insane.
yeah. Anyway, I guess let's move on to our next band. We got a couple more songs we want to play for you guys. This next one is real. So the next couple of bands actually feature some good friends of Adam's and mine. Um, the next one I want to talk about is Never the Victim. Never the Victim.
Yes.
Never the Victim are they are from Amarillo, Texas, which is me and Adam's hometown. The dudes in Never the Victim are some of the sweetest dudes, man. And really, just when you talk about them, you're talking about, it's almost like it's like Never the Victim LLC or Never the Victim Worldwide, man. These dudes are just up to so much all the
Hmm.
time, and they're from just, like our town is nothing on the map. Adam, the guitar player, old friend of mine and Adam from the show. He produced the record. It sounds amazing. Adam and Dom, the bass player, operate a really cool company. It's called DNA Customs. DNA Customs. If you are a fine amplifier collector, if you are a guitar rig, bass rig connoisseur, you need to check out DNA Customs. Here's why. These dudes, of course, they hand make everything. They use WGS speakers. I want to say exclusively. They are partnered with WGS speakers, which I have used myself, which I purchased from Adam and Dom, and was very pleased with that purchase. But they make these beautiful. I will say, without speaking for them too much, their signature item seems to be these ported, vaulted 2x12 speaker cabinets that are just beautiful.
Immaculate.
They're immaculate. They're beautiful. They have so many different looks because they have such a good listening ear as far as when a customer comes to them and say, hey, they one thing I think is really cool that they do, and I'm probably going to gum up the actual process because I have no idea how they achieve this, but obviously the cab chassis, if you will, is made from wood, which Dom, I believe he makes cabinetry, like kitchen cabinets and bathroom cabinets and stuff like that. So he is a skilled woodworker, and Adam knows his way around a saw as well. But they instead of using like Tolex and the metallic corner pieces and stuff like that, they use basically like bed liner, like you would use on a pickup truck to coat the outside of the speaker cabinets. And so they can use like all different colors. They have this awesome, just unique boxy look that's I don't know, man. You need to go over to Instagram, you need to go to Facebook, and you need to look up DNA custom. I think it's DNA custom speakers, DNA custom cabs. We will link off to that in the description for the episode, absolutely. But that is just I don't know. That is just, I'm really proud that they do that, and I hope they keep it going. They've they have families of their own and jobs also, but I think they've kind of had a resurgence recently in making some cabs. I saw that they had posted some orders that had been placed
They
earlier
have.
on. But back to Never the Victim. Dom and Adam are also a part of a kick-ass metal band from our hometown. Just the most metal shit, really. It's Never the Victim is, if you are a fan of your Black Dahlia Murder, it almost harkened back to a little Adam. You probably remember some Job for a Cowboy type stuff
Oh yeah.
from back
Yep.
in the day. Yeah.
Very reminiscent. I mean, these guys have been around for a long time, and everyone's probably asking like, well, these guys know these guys, like that's not fair that they're playing their music, but shut up, go get your own podcast and
Yeah,
You know, you can do whatever you want. On
we
our podcast, we're going to play our friends' music.
absolutely, and they were one of the first bands I reached out to. And you know what? It's like you said, that, like we are very lucky that we have talented friends,
Very much so.
and happy to have them on the show. Um, but anyway, this is I'm very proud to say this is Never the Victim, and this song is called Torture. Oh my gosh, dude,
So good.
that is brutal. That is,
So good.
Alex, their vocalist, man. Dude, he keeps that going, man. I have to believe at the completion of this recording, he was horse for life, bro.
He's gotten so much better as a vocalist over the years too. I mean, listening to this recording, you could tell that he's been working really, really hard on that. Um, all these guys are holy cow! Like
Yeah,
Dom's bass playing is freaking unreal.
yeah. That bottom end, man. You can feel it. I was listening to my car. I was like, my head was bouncing back and forth, man. And
So good.
Adam and John, the drummer from Never the Victim, they've been playing together for like something like 17 18 years, like almost 2 decades essentially. Like I have to imagine those two, when it comes to writing, are on a very similar page, and just jive really well. I mean, they obviously they are. They've been playing for almost 2 years or 20 years together. So really enjoy that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good to hear. It's good to hear bands from, kind of, I keep saying our hometown, but just kind of like from our tribe, I guess, still making stuff. It becomes very impractical as you go through life to try to make music with other people. if you want to do that as well as have a family and have a job, the balance is hard to strike. And the crazy thing is, Adam from Never the Victim has like, I think he has 5 kids, man. I,
Absolutely, yeah. And they're all adorable.
they are beautiful family, but I'm just like, dude, I got 3 and I don't got the time, bro.
I think in that case, like, I think I think they realize that it takes a village if you want to keep something like this going. And I feel like that they know that they have something special here, and hopefully they keep working at it. I can only imagine how hard it is to keep that going, especially balancing work, children, but somehow they make it work, and they gel so well.
They do, and it is an encouragement. I've tried getting some music projects with other people off the ground, and a lot of it has to do with I travel a lot for work, and sometimes I wish it wasn't that way. I do enjoy traveling from time to time, but I get to do stuff like this, and I get to pump their shit and put it out there for you guys to hear, and that's honestly that's just as good for me. I do miss, I will say, and I don't know how you feel about this, Adam, because you got to do a few more projects after I left town. Specifically, I'm talking about in the Company of Thieves, which is a MySpace era band that was honestly my favorite project that you were ever a part of.
It really felt like it was definitely. I knew that I was doing something really special with that band. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing to be a part of that project for sure.
Yeah, I enjoy that. I wish I had some to play here. I definitely would love to in the future, just do kind of a retrospective for all the Amarillo bands out there. Which if you're listening to this and you're not from Amarillo, Texas, tough titties. Like there were a lot of really great, just really awesome. I don't know. We had a I would say we had a unique scene. We probably had as good a scene as anyone else had, back in their hometown. But we have our own podcast, so it would be my pleasure to just go through a retrospective of just all the great projects that our friends took part in, and especially seeing where they're at now, because a lot of those guys are like us. They have jobs and families, and they work, and it's cool to see that juxtaposition of we were all we all wore tight black t-shirts and had bleach blonde tips and stuff like that. So
Bleach blonde tips.
I had bleach blonde tips. I don't know. I will say, I don't know.
Got that.
I don't know how you feel about this. The thing I miss most is playing in front of people. I miss that the most, I think.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. For me, it was the recording aspect. It was, for me, I could sit and record all day, every day, and not care about playing in front of anybody. I don't know. I was a little bit different in that regard, but playing in front of people is necessary. I mean, that's the only way you're gonna, get your word out, get your music out there, and if you just stay behind your computer and not do that, then you're definitely doing something wrong.
Yeah, yeah. I could see that. I think I was the opposite, man. Like for me, recording was necessary, but the playing for people, and especially Adam and I were in a really awesome band with our friends Mike Gray, who great dude, awesome guitar player, Robbie the drummer, and Justin Merrick, who we deemed Freebird. But that
For-
that to me, like we were definitely small town status, but that to me was the most hyped band I was ever a part of. Um, I guess my like marker for success, I guess, was that we had T-shirts. That was it. We had T-shirts, and I thought that was cool. But
and we had CDs.
we did have we had CDs, but
We had compact
see, not.
discs.
Hey man, T-shirts is like not everyone's got T-shirts, man. We had T-shirts, and it was cool.
That is true.
But
That is true.
But that was the band that I was in that I feel like people, like you'd be playing and they knew the words to your songs and they would throw down in the pit for you, and that's a unique feeling that, I mean, I haven't felt in over a decade now, and it's a bummer. But I miss that aspect of it. I
Well, and
miss that a lot.
a lot of it's changed so much, like especially for metal. It's, whenever you asked me to be a part of this, being a part of Dadcore, I jumped on the opportunity mainly because there's not very many outlets like this. Big shout out to Mathcore Index for their amazing podcast that they put out.
Whoop, whoop.
It's and thank goodness that they've been doing that, because anymore it's super hard to find, metal that you might be interested in, like really good music just in general, just because of all of the streaming sites now all the bands are in our face, and it's hard to kind of sift through all of that. But yeah, I think it's good, for all of us to have, that kind of access
Yeah.
to music, but to where we can share it in front of you. And hopefully, I don't know about you, Josh, my goal is to have, more people copy this formula of, not really a formula, but just playing more, even like metal. I want to bring it up, metal, because it's gone down and so quickly in terms of, the amount of people that go to shows. I mean,
Hmm.
it was really sad. Like Van's Warped Tour, I think is calling it done.
Yeah. Yeah. They're
So
throwing in the towel.
yeah, so it's, we people like, Mathcore Index, just everyday people like us, getting the word out of all of these bands that are still out there working really hard, that you haven't heard of, putting them in your face,
Hmm.
and hopefully you become a fan and start listening to it, and we can keep the candle going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The landscape has changed so much as far as, like I don't need to talk about like streaming is a thing that just, you know was nowhere in 2005, 2006 when we were pounding around, and now that's, and that coupled with recording technology, which has improved so much, where
So much.
you can literally do it with your phone. It may not sound super great, but it sounds better than a lot of the analog recordings that we were doing back in 2005. That the technology has come a long way, the landscape has come a long way. For me, I guess a big thing in bringing more music to Dadcore, since we're talking about the podcast, there's something about music that was shown to you by someone who passionately enjoys it. I've stumbled on bands all the time, like on my Facebook feed. I follow Metal Injection and Metal Sucks, and even Mathcore Index sometimes. And then they'll post a video or a song, and you'll hear it, and it's enough to be like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, yeah, that is good. I can give that a neutral just thumbs up. But there's something about, and this is why the Mathcast, which is the podcast that Mathcore Index curates, hearing hearing them describe why this music is important, or why you should be enjoying, or why they enjoyed it, that changes the game completely. Hearing
Absolutely.
hearing someone's, I don't want to say interpretation of a song, but just hearing why they enjoy a song, or that, that moment when you're in a car with someone, in that part, that breakdown, or that whatever part is coming up next, and they're like, they turn their volume up just a little bit. They're like, dude, watch, it's coming.
Yeah, they'll stop you in the middle of a conversation,
Yeah.
like, no, we
And
stop.
that will imprint on you, like, how much you enjoy that breakdown or whatever. It really, like, there are a lot of song, like, all shall perishes, no money to be made on a dead planet. The breakdown in that song, if you've heard that song, someone showed me that song. I was sitting in the passenger seat of a car. It was Gabe Spencer, our good friend Gabe Spencer. He showed me that song, and I was trying to talk to him through the song, and he was like, shut up and listen. Shut your lips and listen. And then that breakdown came in, and for the rest of my life, that breakdown will be stuck in my head. So
Yeah,
I think there's There's just something in having music shown to you by a human person and maybe having it explained to you, or maybe having them stop you and say, no, really listen, really hear it. That can completely change it. So, yeah, there's gonna be a lot more
Absolutely.
music on this podcast if you ain't heard.
And if you know of any bands that might want their, music out there, to be heard,
Mm-hmm.
guide them our way. As long as we can get like some sort of permission to just,
Yeah,
play their stuff, we'll definitely do it.
definitely. We're bound a little bit by the legal rights, so like maybe don't send us someone who's signed to Virgin Records. But if we can arrange,
Yeah, we're
maybe.
not going to play Trivium.
Yeah, yeah, no trivium here. The intent is definitely to promote bands that don't have the platform of a label. If you are on a label, that's not a disqualifier necessarily. But one, we have to be able to legally play it, obviously, and two, we want to promote people who otherwise are out there just working on their own to promote themselves, and they're working. They are doing their promotion work, or maybe them and maybe a smaller label. But we want to support just small town bands or local bands or bands that are like that aren't super huge. I feel like if you're listening to that, you understand what I mean in saying that. But we hey, Dadcore is all about the little man.
We're for the little people.
Hey, the little tiny people, tiny tiny, Anyway, uh, but yes, and I'll kind of put out some of that stuff at the end of the show so that you guys know where to send your stuff, where you can contact us. We've already had so many really awesome bands that I didn't even have time to play this week, and I'm really don't take that as we're not going to get around to you. There's just a queue of sorts has formed. And it's not that you're less important or less good. Some of them we just straight up, it was a first come first serve kind of thing. But
Absolutely.
but
We're going to be back to you.
yeah, there may like we may get 3 episodes in and we're begging people to send stuff in because we've swung around and we've played everyone. In that case, we may swing back and play some other tracks from some of these bands you've heard today. But yeah, I guess with that we will we're gonna move into our last song that we want to play for you guys. This one is extra special. I'm super amped about this.
Me too.
This band, I feel like the road that led to this band is just super long. Josh Barbie is a super good friend of mine and Adam's. We met him back, it's been 10, 12 years ago. He came and lived in Amarillo. He's in a really great local band in Amarillo. Or I say local band. The Gentleman Homicide was far from a local band, actually. They toured the Midwest quite a bit. Really great, unique, technical hardcore band from Amarillo, Texas. They're on iTunes, and you can still go look them up. They're defunct now, but their music is still really good, and it's out there. You can go look for it. But he's been a friend of ours for a long time, and he's been working on Revisionist for, I want to say, the better part of 2, 3, maybe even longer, maybe even more years.
For a while.
It's been a long road for Revisionist, but they and I'm super excited. They have an album. I'm not sure when it's coming out. I feel like it's coming soon. They haven't officially announced it yet. But they have given us extra special permission to debut a track from their upcoming album, which is called The Culling.
Wait, did you say that this is a Dadcore exclusive?
This is I don't have like a graphic, but it's a Dadcore exclusive. We don't have a link for
Nice.
that, but yes, absolutely. Like this is the first time that you guys are gonna get to hear it. I wanna backtrack a little bit here. This was recorded. Jeff Sayhound from Let Live produced this album, which is
What?
awesome. If you are a Let Live fan, there you may detect a note or two from you may get some top notes of Let Live from this. That band's super heavy, so I have to
Really
believe.
good.
As with Snake Tooth, I got some the touch of Captain Kirk in their sound that Jeff's sound is gonna come through on this record. But I enjoy this track a lot. Revisionist, hardworking band. I'm excited for this album to drop. I've heard a few tracks off this album. This is all I can give you for now. But definitely stay tuned for what Revisionist has in store, because they've got some tours and they've got an album coming out that it's gonna fracture your fucking skull. So
it's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be huge. This song is called Sage by Revisionist. Check it out.
So heavy,
bro. Those crowd vocals at the end, man, those go so hard. That is just a really unique, like, the melody is like, it's not dissonant or anything, but it's just off enough where it just sounds so just dark and depressive. I really love those like, it's like crowd vocals are usually hopeful and just kind of like, yeah, we can do it together, and those are kind of like, we can't, no, like, but it's okay because his music's really good, like,
right.
Hype. Revisionist. Wichita, Kansas. The Culling is coming. Stay tuned. Hopefully that's not the last you hear of the Revisionist on this show, but they're going places. So they they may be too cool for the Dadcore school before too long. So thank you to them for letting us debut that. And hopefully that album becomes available sooner than later, because that's good gym jam right there. That's good gym music right there.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear the rest of the album. That's so good.
Absolutely. So thank you to Josh, the guitar player, and the rest of the guys. That's awesome. That's probably gonna wrap things up for us here today, guys. We like I said, Dadcore is officially back, but we're still kind of working through. How should I say this? We're working through how we want to do the schedule. There's definitely going to be more interviews, so if you're listening to this and be like, oh, I enjoyed the interview portions. I'm not so much a metalhead, but I like hearing about family stuff, dad stuff, mom stuff. There's going to be some of that. It's not gone, but we are definitely in the spirit of Dadcore. We're definitely going to shift our focuses a little bit, and hopefully give you guys more great content like the bands you've heard today, as well as some good interviews and just good discussion. Part of the reason I asked Adam here to come to the show with me is because he's a legit dude. He has exquisite taste, not just musically, but entertainment wise, and I think he has a good, wholesome, peaceful worldview. And I'm glad you're here, man. I'm glad you're doing this with me. I can't thank you enough.
I can't. I feel great. I feel honored to be here. Whenever you asked me, there was no hesitation. I was like, yes, let's do this. We definitely gotta get the word out on all this good music that nobody is listening to, and or not enough people are listening to. I should say it that way. But hopefully we can dive in some more. We're going to structure this more as we go too. This is always going to be a work in progress. So if you want to give us some feedback, message us here on the Dadcore Facebook page. I forgot our Gmail email. What is it, Josh?
It is xDADCORexpod@gmail.com. You can send stuff there. I'm gonna be straight with you guys. I don't check the emails out as often, but it's usually once every couple of days I jump in there. So if you don't get a response right away from us, don't despair. Hit us up on everything. In no way are we going to reject you if you come on a little strong and try to get us on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. We don't shy away from that. It just means we need to probably check our inboxes.
Yeah.
But slide into our DMs, baby. We want to hear your band. We want to hear it. If you're not a hardcore band, if you're not a metal band, not a problem. We are all about. Adam actually is a avid hip hop as well as electronic music fan, and he's turned me on to a lot of good stuff. And if you are into that stuff as well, this is also a forum for that. So if you've got a really great hip hop project, if you're like a one-man band, like I operate as a kind of a small side hustle, and you don't play shows but you just record music on your own, maybe it's just acoustic stuff, I don't care. Send it to us. We'll put it out there, man. This is what we want to do with this, and we support that. We want to support you.
Absolutely. Yep. Hit us up, guys.
Definitely. Well, that's all the time I have for today. I appreciate you guys. My name's Josh Green.
I'm Adam Cross.
And thank you guys for listening to Dadcore. We will see you next time.
Vibes. No problem.